Russia has integrated the use of digital assets as payment for international transactions in its legislation. President Vladimir Putin has signed into law a document that describes using these assets as payment for international settlements, a use case not contemplated in any law, appointing the Central Bank of Russia as the overseer of these transactions. Today's episode is sponsored by Cake Wallet, where you can send, receive, and even exchange your crypto right from within the wallet. Cake Wallet is open source and non-custodial, so you control your own private keys. Available today on iOS, macOS, Android, and Linux. And StealthEX, a privacy-centric crypto exchange which enables you to make crypto-to-crypto exchanges anonymously. Good evening, everybody, and a warm welcome again back to Enter Crypto with me, Chris Kenyon. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about Russia again. We made a video about Russia yesterday, and there's one slightly related. And so, as always, guys, let's jump straight into this article from Bitcoin.com, and we'll see what we can learn, see what it's all about, and then we'll comment after. So Russia is expanding its legislation to contemplate more use cases for financial digital assets. On March the 11th, President Vladimir Putin signed into law a series of amendments that regulate the use of digital assets for international payments, an application not contemplated before in any law. The law establishes that the Central Bank of Russia will have oversight of these operations, being able to set conditions for these exchanges and ban some. In the same way, the law includes transactions between a resident and a non-resident, and between two non-residents on the purchase or sale of digital assets. Local media stated these measures might be directed to solve current and upcoming payment problems derived from the economic sanctions applied to Russia, and Russia had profiled the use of digital assets for making payments not affected by these transactions, but no regulations supported this utilization. The promulgation of this law comes after several statements from Russian officials that touched on the subject of using blockchain and CBDCs as a base for a payment system for the BRICS bloc. The group, chaired by Russia and integrated by Brazil, India, China, South Africa, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iran, Egypt, and Ethiopia, would be planning to use these assets to develop a cost-effective and free of politics payments alternative. Russia and China, two of the most prominent economies of the bloc, are already experimenting with CBDCs, and the former with its digital ruble pilot, and the latter with the digital yuan, a currency already circulating. So what we're seeing here is Russia and China and the BRICS bloc looking at other alternative methods of payment, other mediums of exchange. How can we, they're basically being sanctioned on, well, China's not been sanctioned yet, but Russia's been sanctioned heavily by the US in particular, Europe and the UK. And so they're kind of getting together and they're saying, well, we've got a big problem, and the problem is that the US dollar is the global reserve currency. Everything gets paid in dollars, no matter who we do business with in the world. Whether it's Saudi Arabia and we're buying oil, whether it's South Africa and we're buying gold and diamonds, whatever it is, whatever the commodity is, or grain, we have to pay in dollars because that is just what everybody wants, and that's just the way the world is at the moment. Well, we don't like that, because if they want to sanction us, or we say the wrong thing, or we're not aligned with them politically or economically, then they can cut us off. So that's not good. That's bad for their own, for China's own national security. It's bad for South Africa, India, Brazil, any of these countries. And so they've kind of got together and they've decided we need an alternative. We need a proper alternative that we can all trade into, to basically try and, well, it's not just an alternative. I think they're actively trying to unseat the dollar as the reserve currency. Now, nobody knows yet if they're actually going to create their own currency, like their own sort of currency unit, and it's going to be a completely new thing. Now, if they do that, it's going to have to be backed by something, and I imagine it will be backed by a basket of currencies, a basket of currencies, that's, government currencies, but also I think there'll be some gold thrown in there just to add stabilization, and also we may see some crypto in there as well. That's just my personal feeling. Again, this is not, they haven't come out and said this yet. This is just pure speculation on my part. And something to think about. I know we don't talk about price much on this channel, but if these countries do decide to put some cryptocurrency, some, Bitcoin or ETH or Polkadot or something like that in their basket to try and diversify this basket of currencies to add stability to the currency that they're all decided that they're going to exchange with each other. What do you think the demand for these massive countries? What kind of what do you think that's going to do to the price of Bitcoin? And in general, how bullish is that going to be for crypto and gold as well? There's going to be a massive... And I know a lot of these countries, I know China's got a boatload of gold anyway, and they're not even declaring everything that they've got, I suspect. But I do think as governments, especially the, non-Western governments around the world, the neutral countries and the ones that don't agree with the West often politically, are going to actually learn a lot more about crypto, and it's going to be, and I think they're seeing this as a real way to circumvent potential or current sanctions. So, but we'll have to wait and see, and it's an interesting thought anyway, and a good article. As always, guys, thank you for watching, thank you for listening. That's what I've got for you today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on that notifications bell so that you don't miss out on any future updates, and I'll see you all tomorrow evening. Take care.